Good morning. Welcome to a fresh edition of your Breakfast on Leadership Television inside Nigeria. Today is December 15, 2025, and all too soon we are in the middle of the month of December 2025. My name is Winifred Igbobo, your host on the program. Without wasting much time, let's head up to our newspaper review segment where we see what the national papers, are offering this Monday, including Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Leadership's leading story says Federal Revenue Service clarifies MOU with French agency, denies granting France data access. Of course, there is a developing story. We'll be seeing reports, news all over the place, flying all over the place, actually, about the signed MOU with the France government. That was last week in Abuja, because that has not gone down well with a cross section of Nigerians who are saying that the federal government, through the FIROS, has given access to France government where it has other fintech companies in the country. Federal Revenue Service clarifies MOU with French agency, denies granting France data access. As Northern Elders Forum, African Democratic Congress demand termination. That story is on page 7 of Leadership. Of course, we'll see much of that later when we come back to Leadership. West African leaders unite against coup, violent extremism. Cause growth for president to reject central gaming bill. The story is on page 15 of Leadership. Cause growth for president to reject central gaming bill. And of course, we have a wraparound on the cover of Leadership this Monday. Yobe wins 2025 Primary Healthcare Leadership Challenge Awards, takes USD, that is US dollars, 1.2 million naira, $2 million US dollars in prize money. Congratulations to the Yobe State government. We move ahead to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is Punch newspaper. Punch says car imports rebound, hit 1 trillion naira in 9 months. Revised tariff, stable naira drive rebound. US remains Nigeria's top vehicle source. Car imports rebound, hit 1 trillion naira in 9 months. Coup. Tinubu rallies ECOWAS leaders. Benin detains ex-president's son. Bayelsa PDP backs the risk autopsy order on late deputy governor. Bayelsa PDP backs the risk autopsy order on late deputy governor. Of course, we have just beside the masthead of the Punch, petrol price war turns dirty as Dangote attacks NMDPRA boss. Crisis hits obese Labour Party faction after BOT sacks National Working Committee. Punch affirms #1 position with 20 NMMA awards. Congratulations to the paper. It's on that note we conclude review on upfront headline stories on the Punch this Monday. For more, log into the website of the Punch newspaper. We move ahead to the next paper, and that is Daily Sun. Daily Sun's main leading story says Atiku Mark Obi George orders alleged plots to kill opposition, demand independent review body to check public accounts of federal government, state, local governments. Presidency dismisses opposition's threats to democracy allegations. Corruption, we are investigating ministers, top government officials. CCB explains law barring civil servants from operating businesses, foreign accounts. NMDPRA destroying Nigeria's economy over arbitrary fuel import permits, coming from Dangote. NMDPRA destroying Nigeria's economy over arbitrary fuel import permits, coming from Africa's richest, Dangote. Tension rises between the APC and Adeleke over Oyembanji's candidacy in Osun State. Enugu demands 30 billion naira for school feeding in 2026. And towards the masthead of Daily Sun, dollar demand soars as 30 December squeezes naira. CBN ingests $250 million, naira dips 0.1%. Reserves hit $45.44 billion. Lastly, on the cover of Daily Sun, Obi tax Tinubu on insecurity, demands probe as bandits claim government supply. And from Daily Sun, we head up to Vanguard newspaper this Monday. Vanguard says allegations of a terrorist, 2 former governors fueling insecurity, coming from Toji Bello. Says ex-governors responsible for long-running insecurity in North Admits peace talks, denies 30 million naira payoff. Is all lies, say government sources. Security forces gone down notorious bandit Kachala Nala in Sokoto. And of course, we have the picture of Billy Toji beside the leading story on today's Vanguard. Dangote alleges sleaze at NMDPRA demands investigation. 1 week after NAV C-130 aircraft, 11 soldiers yet to be released coming from the federal government. However, there was brickback on that allegations, while the federal government claimed that the soldiers and the aircraft have since been released. But story today puts paid to that lie or allegations, put paid to that allegations. Coup, ECOWAS vows to defend democracy. NDLEA boss bandits drug supply chain. NAM's fleeing supplier Gamboli in Niger. Intercepts opioids bound for US, Canada, Sweden. Lastly, for sports, Super Eagles need better coaching to win AFCON 2025. Coming from Bonfrey. And we move towards the masthead of Vanguard. Atop the masthead, Ewuru Jakbo. Governor Diri orders autopsy as Jonathan Oberewuri mourn. Pension savings under pressure as forest investment growth slumps to 1.6%. And lastly, on the cover of Vanguard, Governor Kefas dumps PDP, picks APC membership card. And that concludes review of front headline stories of Vanguard this Monday. For more, log in to the website of Vanguard. We move ahead to the next paper we have on our lineup, and incidentally, that's the last paper we have on our lineup this Monday, and that is the Daily Times. The Daily Times leading story says opposition leaders demand independent probe of federal, state, local government accounts from 2015 to 2025. They are failed politicians engaging in subterfuge, empty search for scapegoats coming from presidency. In response to that, opposition leaders demand independent probe of federal, state, local government accounts from 2015 to 2025. That is also a leading story in the Daily Sun newspaper today. Not going back on Wednesday, nationwide protest against insecurity coming from the NLC. And Ghana petitions ECOWAS over Nigeria's treatment of company, accuses trade minister of inaction. Atop the masthead of the Daily Times, fear of Nigerian Airways haunts airport concession plans. Reforms transparency key to resolving power sector's 4 trillion naira debt. CPPE. And that concludes the review of front headline stories on the Daily Times this Monday. For more, log into the website of Daily Times newspaper. We just did a rundown on all the leading stories on the cover of the papers we have on our lineup this Monday. Now we head up to Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership, to get more from that story. On the page 3 of Leadership this Monday, we have our stand as usual. And today's stand is on Lamode and the war against insecurity. Lamode and the war against insecurity. And in the stand, inside our stand, the paper says, the Nigerian police force, chronically underfunded and overstretched, must be reviewed to reduce the over-reliance on the military for domestic operations. And in conflict-prone areas, government must invest in community dialogue structures, early warning mechanisms, and dispute resolution frameworks that prevent small disagreements from exploding into deadly clashes. Nigeria cannot afford a future in which citizens fear their protectors as much as their attackers. The war against banditry and terrorism will not be won solely through aid raids, firepower, or tactical deployments. It will be won when communities believe that the state is firmly and consistently on their side. Lamode is a test of that belief. We call on the federal government, the military authorities, and state governments to treat this moment with the seriousness it demands. The nation's security battles are too complex, too entrenched, and too costly for avoidable mistakes, unexamined force, or eroded trust. These are excerpts from today's stand in Leadership, Lamode and the war against insecurity. That takes us to the back page of the paper, and of course today's back page column or columnist is another person down there, Abraham Nda Azaya, director with Leadership Media Group. He's writing on Sam Nda Azaya 5 years after. 5 years after, 5 years after Sam Nda Azaya died, talking about the late founding chairman of Leadership Media Group. We'll just have to take some excerpts from as a tribute to the man who dared to dream. Just as the above quote, there are special people in our lives who never have us, even never leave us, even after they are gone. D. Morgan. Just as the above quote suggests, 5 years have indeed passed by since December 11, 2020. Yet, like winds on my mind, immutable thoughts keep the feeling as it will happen just yesterday. My phone rang in the early hours of that fateful day. It was his wife Zainab, her voice steady but troubled. Told me in Hausa, Megida Bashida Lafia, my husband is not well, she added. So at the hospital, well, it's just a tribute to the founding chairman of Leadership Media Group, late Sam Dazaya. May he so continue to rest in peace. We'll take quotes from that back page. Although 5 years have passed by, Sam's essence, work, and vision continue to impact profoundly on his family, his community, and our country. His media initiatives became spaces for national dialogue, accountability, and vision. He had very high standards, enormous energy, and a mind anyone else scarcely possessed. He was incredibly persistent and generous to friends and staff. Tribute today for the late founding chairman of Leadership Media Group, Sam Dazaya. Before we leave the back page, let's visit Ghana Must Go. Turaki as governors, PDP leaders, Obasanjo in closed-door meeting news. And Ghana Must Go ask or queried for 13. Over to you, former President Olusegun Obasanjo. From there, we'll move to our sister publication, National Economy. National Economy's leading story today says 80 million young Nigerians unemployed. Collapse of SMEs, manufacturing fuels Nigeria's unemployment explosion. Only 450,000 jobs created annually as 1.8 million youths enter job market each year. Leading story on today's National Economy in print. Nipping Nigerian soaring accommodation costs in the board. Nigeria launches first online gas trading settlement platform. ECOWAS to remove air ticket taxes across West Africa, January. These are the stories gracing the cover of National Economy this Monday, December 15, 2025. For more, log into the website of National Economy, www.nationaleconomy.com. Well, it's on that note we conclude today's Inside Nigeria, brought to you on Leadership Television. Don't forget to join us on all our social medias for media handles for news on the hour. Till I come your way again, same time, same station tomorrow. Here's wishing you a beautiful day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last